All right, good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday night. Sorry I was a couple seconds late, but looks like we've got Davo, Uncle Smiley in, and Zen Ginger. So let's give it a couple minutes to let everyone kind of filter in here. Hope everyone's having a good night. It has been a little bit warm here still. Today it was in the 90s again. Hopefully the weather is reasonable where you are. 90s isn't. It wasn't terrible out today. It wasn't too humid. So, I see that I've gotten the ranking thing, which is interesting. I don't know what it does or doesn't do, but so hello, Steven. How are you? Hello, Ed. Yeah, so we'll kind of give it a couple seconds here, and then we'll go ahead and talk about some of the um, fish that were made popular by YouTube, because there's quite a few actually. I've been around this now for about 7 years or so, so there's been quite a few fish that have kind of come and gone. So um, yeah, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that. So. Yeah, so it says Zen is like the winner for the next minute or so. Yeah, like I just don't see like the purpose of it. Like, I mean, I think it was someone said it was like capped at 75 points anyway. So, I mean, I don't know. It seems unless there's like a, ulterior motive to it, I don't get the point of it. So, but whatever. So, anyways, let's I guess since we got a good number of folks here, let's go ahead and dive into the topic real quick, and then we'll play the game. And actually, do have some pretty good updates from the barn. Some more, some more fry updates, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the tubs as well. So, so yeah, so I kind of wanted to, this came up I think in Steven's stream on Friday, and it was kind of interesting. So I started thinking back to all the fish that have kind of like come and gone. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, because you get more points if you super chat. That's right. So, yeah, so I kind of wanted to just talk through, a lot of the fish that were kind of, YouTube famous for a while per se. And I think there's a bunch of different fish that kind of had eras and things like that. I think when I started, kind of in the beginning, like 2018, 2019. It was a lot of like, I mean, the Shellys were kind of on the scene then. I think Joey had done Shellys, and I think a lot of people wanted those. And I think another big one then was monster fish. Like everyone was like, "Oh, monster fish! We got to have monster fish." I mean, that was kind of the beginning of the heyday of the Ohio Fish Rescue stuff and all that stuff too. So, yeah, so that was kind of one that was kind of interesting, like in the beginning. And then there was quite a few bigger like at the time bigger, not big now, but bigger like African cichlid channels. Like John was African cichlids at the time. Um, there was a guy that kept predator haps too, and I can't remember who it was anymore. That he kind of kept up and was watching around too. So kind of when I started, it was like African cichlids, monster fish. Um, kind of the predator haps were in there for a while, and then I think IFG was doing those too. Um, yeah, so that was kind of that, and then, obviously, I think one of the things too is if people have some that I miss, definitely put those in the chat, and we can talk through those too. So, yeah, so that was kind of like the 2018 the pandemic phase. And then I think there was like, then there was like the mud skipper phase that, that was Zenzo's sort of, one of the things that kind of put Zenzo on the map was, the mud skippers. So I think a lot of people got into those just kind of because of their personality, how they behaved. So that was, that was kind of like a phase there for a while. Like I think a lot of people were kind of wanting to get into mud skippers. That was another one. Trying to think of some of the, I have a list here And then I think there was a puffer phase too a little bit. I think there was a um, kind of like a puffer phase as well. So so yeah, so that was another one. So and then kind of right now, I think it's a lot of rice fish. I think that's kind of becoming one of the big ones. Um, I've never had luck with rice fish, but I think a lot of this too is I think it kind of depends on who you watch. Like if someone is into, if you have someone that's into, um, if you're watching someone say, like Bob Steenfot kind of got me into Cyprochromis, right? So that's kind of one, um, one for me there too. So it's a lot of it's depending on who you watch. Yeah, Steven, like Rainbow Fish was another one that kind of was kind of a fad too. I had that one written down actually. And then, yeah, there's kind of that middle period where like kind of like 2021 to like now, I'm kind of not really, I'm not sure. And then, yeah, so it's kind of funny because it depends on who you watch, right? Because Zen brings up HC Aqua, who I really didn't watch for her mud skipper phase, but it's kind of driven by who you watch on YouTube. So I think there's a part of that too. I mean, I think there's different, the fish YouTube community now is big enough that, I think there's different cliques and subcultures and sub peoples and all that kind of stuff, right? So depending on what subculture you follow on YouTube, you're, and what the algorithm, feeds you, it's going to be kind of different. So, I mean, that's something too. And I think what was interesting too that was brought up in Steven's stream too was the club aspects. I don't feel like the club, at least my club anyway, does not really follow like the YouTube trends. It's more like our club, like popular fish wise, like with the the more active people, like the people who kind of like regularly come to meetings and are doing all that. I think those folks are more. It's more Corridoras. If anything, I think it's been that way since I've been in the club. I started kind of going to the club like 2018, and it's been that way the entire time. It's always a lot of Cory breeders, people wanting to breed Corys. Corys go for big money. Trout Guttiads is another one. Yes, that's one that's kind of been made by YouTube too. That's a good one, Ed. So hello, go with the flow aquatics. Yeah, so Trout Guttiads is another one. That was one that I forgotten about. And one that I own actually, so kind of funny there. So yeah, Trout Guttiads that's a good one. That's a really good one that I missed. Yeah, so it kind of depends who you watch. And then like club wise, like I said, I don't think, at least for the club that I belong to and the clubs that auctions and stuff that I've been to, it doesn't really seem to follow the trends of YouTube. I think it's more, yeah, like clubs is different. I think in each club has its own sort of fish that they kind of deal with, right? Like for example, and I think we've talked about this before on here. We've talked about the fact that like South American cichlids is like dead zone here. Like it's like, they're like persona non grata, right? Where you're not going to be buying South American cichlids. It's just not going to happen. So, that's one for example. But if you were going to go, I think if you go to the East Coast a lot, they're a lot bigger. Or if you go to Ohio, but like here, don't even try. For example, that's a good example. There's still a fairly healthy amount of Africans here too, which the rest of the country, not really. I think Africans have kind of fizzled out, but here, our club, I think it's still very prevalent and a very powerful force. Like especially when you go to the auction and see what the bags are, but it's not as prevalent as it once was. It's kind of evened out a little bit between like African cichlids, live bears, plecos, that kind of thing. But it used to be like 3/4 of the auction was African cichlids. So, yes. See, Ed says Corys and plecos are big at his club. Yeah, so I think, yeah, it's one of those things. Like it seems like a lot of the like old. I don't want to use the word old timer. That's a bad. I shouldn't do that. But what a lot of the like boomer generation of fish keepers, it's Corey's. Like it's all those guys that around here that they're all in their 70s or 60s or whatever, and they're all into their Corys. I mean, it's you know, it's a whole bunch of them. It's it's very interesting to kind of see that. But like, if you were to get younger people, I think they're probably more into things like rice fish and things like that. I mean, that's where we're going kind of off the path here a little bit. But yeah, I think clubs, and in my experience, Ed, I know you've been kind of chiming in here, but in my club, I mean, YouTube doesn't really drive the fish that much. Maybe a little bit with the auctions, but I mean, from the general day-to-day club meeting, YouTube doesn't really drive any of it. But the population of my club is kind of older, and I think that's probably part of it. And a lot of the clubs I've seen around Michigan, and a few times I've been to Ohio and everywhere else, I think the club scene doesn't necessarily follow YouTube. You can kind of disagree with me with that, but yeah, that's kind of this what I've seen and observed. Of the like 5 or 6 clubs that I visited. So MNC says Corey's are sort of kind of starting to take off here. Yeah, people are way into the Corey's here. It's kind of a thing. So AJ says he's starting to see good ads at my local fish store. The owner breeds a lot of the fish for the store. It's pretty cool to see, and we're lucky to have that store. One thing I will say about that, AJ, is if he needs to make sure to include the location information on those good ads, because if he's selling those and then people are selling them to someone else, like he needs to keep the location and then educate the people who are buying the fish that they are, that to keep that location information and things like that, because I'm a little leery, and I don't want to be crappy about this, but I don't think. I'm not a huge fan of fish stores selling good ads, unless they do it the right way. If they're keeping the location and they're passing that information on, like I don't think a lot of stores are going to do that. So I kind of, that's my soapbox a little bit on that. I'm not trying to be like anti-fish store, but at the same time, I don't want the good ad lines to get muddied up because there's a fish store out there selling, say like the eyes and I have, right? Those are extremely rare. Okay, good. Okay, no, good, AJ, that's good. And then, like Ed said, the evolutionary significant unit is definitely another good thing. So MNC has the location, so that's good. He gets this from Ed, Skull, Greg, or Mike. I will bring some good ads for the auction, probably for the Keystone Clash. So if you are going to the Keystone Clash, there will be some good ads there for sale at the auction. I'm not going to buy a table because I just don't want to babysit a table for the entire time that I'm there. So, but I will bring them for the auction. With that, I think let's go ahead and kind of transition to the fish game. I think it was kind of fun, kind of looking back a little bit, talking about the fish, that kind of were made by YouTube, and I know there's probably more. I mean, if you think of one afterwards, put it in the chat, and we can revisit it again next week. So, yeah. So with that, let's go ahead and kind of transition over to the fish game. So just give me 1 second to flop screens around here, and then we'll go ahead and do that. So Alishan says, Corey's Angels and Citrus dominate club auctions these days. Tons of plants too. Fan sends in the big lots of plants once a year. African cichlids are hardly seen anymore. Yeah, ours is still half and half, so kind of an interesting thing there. So, yeah, let me flip the screen over here. Knew I was missing something. So, let's get back to that. All right, yeah. So yeah. So let's go ahead. I think you guys should be able to see the game now. I almost forgot to do this. So, but anyways, so we're gonna play the game. Are they basic? And then. And then basically this is the rules. I'm going to show you a picture of the fish. Guess in the chat how basic my daughter thinks that they are, between 1 to 10. After a few moments, we'll let you guys answer for a little bit, and then I will go ahead and I'll show you how my daughter feels about the fish. AJ's asking, what's the fish in the background? The purple fish with the yellow tails. Those are Cyprochromis leptosoma blue flash. When we go out to the barn here in a little bit, we'll go ahead and take a look at those, and we can look at some other stuff too. I've been kind of getting back into fish mode a little bit. I've been doing a little bit more work in the barn. I kind of took a vacation from doing stuff a little bit, so I've been kind of slowly getting back into it. I've been kind of doing like one day at a time, do a little bit here and there. So, with that, we'll start out with the koi. After I gave this to her, I thought I may have done this one before, but we'll see. Hello, Punko. Yeah, and I think you're smart to do that, MNC. Like, I'm pretty careful now, too. So we got Davo's got 7. Punkel's got 5. See what anyone else is. MNC's got 8.5. AJ's got 3. Uncle Smiley's got 6. Steven's got 7. So give it a couple more minutes here, and Gravedigger Aquatics, I think that's a new name. So welcome to the chat. Has 2. Zen's got 4. Yeah, so Tiger Limia is one I've got. I've been thinking about fish, like I'm starting to think about taking to the Clash. And I kind of forgot about those. They kind of get forgotten about kind of in the corner of the fish room. So I'll have to remember. I might bring some of those. All right, so we've got Tout Poison's got 1. Zen, I think I said Zen, but it's got 4. So welcome Convict Aquatics. I think that might be a new name as well. So give it another couple seconds here, and we'll go ahead and flip it to the next one. So surprisingly, she gave this a 9. So I don't know if that was due to the quality of the picture, but she was kind of down with the koi. So that was a little surprising. So yeah, we'll have to have her come on again and do these once, before she leaves for college. So which is rapidly approaching. Got about a month or so. So yeah, so that one surprised me. There's some surprises on this one. So next one here, this is needlefish. I use this for the thumbnail when I went collecting with Garden of Eden down in Florida when I went down there to speak. So I used that for the thumbnail on one of the videos I did. So it might be a half beak, but I used it as a needlefish for the video. But yeah. So that library I kind of struggled with, actually. I had some from Dan, and they lived for a good year or so, but they sort of petered out. They didn't really breed, and they just sort of eventually kind of fizzled out for me. So maybe I'll try them again someday. So we got Punkle's got 10, Zen's got 5, Steven's got 4, AJ's got 5, Uncle Smiley's got 4, Christopher's got 3. Dave says her score is a 3, his score is an 8. So cute for Top Poison says 7. So yeah. So AJ says half beaks have specific food requirements, I believe. I don't know. Like mine ate flake. I know because I watched them eat it, but I have to go back and do my research again. Ed's Aquatics and Exotics says I've been breeding Belisonics. I actually do want to get those one day. That's kind of one I want to play with. When I was down in Florida, there was someone had some in the auction for at Pasco County, but there was only 2 males, which I was like, that's not gonna help. So, but I do want to play with that fish. We don't see those a lot. I've seen them one time up here. So, all right. So yeah, AJ says this. Go with the flow says my half beaks eat anything. He gives the fried baby brine shrimp. Yeah, I'd have a question when we get upstairs too to talk about Corey's. If you guys, I might crowdsource your opinion on something because I've been getting more Corey fry, but I think I'm struggling with the fact to move them. So I'll show you what I'm talking about when we go into the barn. But we'll go ahead and we'll flip this over now. She gave this a 4, which I think some people had. So we've got Uncle Smiley had 4. Steven had 4. So Zen did not win that one. I think Zen had 5. So close. So up next, we have the well, what is this? This is a bicher, I think. So. I think I finished my water, so we'll definitely have to get outside soon because I'm out of water. So, all right. So this one, so we got Punkle's got 6, Christopher Niehaus has 1, Stephen P's got 3, Davo's got 2, Uncle Smiley's got 5. AJ's got 6. Go with the Flow has 4. Convict Aquatics has 2. Tout Poison has 9. So Zen's got 3. So we'll go ahead and kind of let it fester for another couple seconds here, and then we'll flip it on over. So, all right, going once, going twice, sold. 8. So, Top Poison was close, but yeah, this one surprised me. Like I set her up to give this a 1, and she completely surprised me on this one. So let's see. Let's see you guys' reaction to that. Or she's just trolling us now, one of the two. Yeah, I was way off too. I set her up, but this was the one I try to mix it up a little bit, like ones I think she'll hate, and then she kind of surprises me sometimes. So we'll go ahead and we'll flip to the next one. This one went to the salt side of things. This is the saddleback clownfish. one that I've kept before back in my old saltwater days. Um, kind of an interesting swimming motion on these. Um, so it kind of an interesting fish. So Davo's got 10, Christopher's got 9. Yeah, I'll go back into my old pictures from time to time and throw in a salty one. So Uncle Smiley's got 6. Convict's got 10. Tout Poison's got 5. Stephen P. has got 8, along with Zen. Even though I just did these, I forgot what she ranked this one. I was going kind of quick. So, all right, give it, MNC's got 7. All right, we'll give it a couple more seconds here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll flip it. So, going once, going twice, sold. 8 out of 10. So we did have some 8s in it. Steven had 8. Zen's got 8. AJ and Chris were close with 9. Yeah, so she ranked this one pretty highly, and I think that was the last. Nope, we got one more. So up next here is the Tropheus. I think this is the Debosii, maybe. Yeah, Icola is a little more black, so I think this is Tropheus Debosii. Yes, so I've been digging deep lately into the archives of pictures that I have. So Zen's got 6. Punkle has 5. Davo's got 6. AJ has 7. Steven's got 5. So give it a couple more here. I know I said it was the last one, and then I forgot about this one. So give it another couple seconds here, and then Comics got 9. All right, so give it. Smiley's got 4. Yeah, I want to kind of catch people with the lag and everything too. So, all right, we'll give it a couple seconds here. Going once, going twice. Sold. We've got 6 out of 10. So she didn't give this one. So Davo got that one. So did Zen. Yeah. So I think if she saw this fish in person, I think she would give it a little bit higher ranking. This picture doesn't do it justice, but yeah. So all right. So with that, it is 8:32. So I think it is time to kind of head barnward. I think just to so we don't run out of light for the tubs for sure. So let me go ahead and flip all the screens over and everything, and we'll go from there. So go there. All right, I was a little rushed today to get this set up, so I didn't give you a great view for the barn. So let me flip that over, and I will meet you outside here in about 2 seconds. So. So we're here in the barn, so let me know real quick how the audio is. You are going to hear a gurgling sound tonight just because I've got the breeder box going. So if you can give me a quick audio check, I'd appreciate it. So kind of while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead here and I'll show you my Corridors question. So when I pull the Corridors out, so I usually put them in like this container here with water and then with some methylene blue. My question is what's the best way to pull them out? Like I've been using a little net, but I feel like I've been losing the fish when I do that. And I've been putting them most of the time in another container with like fresh water. So I was kind of hoping like this breeder box would kind of work good for them. I know the one is in here is still doing pretty well, but I don't know how many of them I have left in here. So I've got them in here. I mean, it's gurgling kind of badly, but um, I'm just gonna try them in here, and hopefully I can get some. And then the next ones, I could, I hope I can get them a little bit better. So with that, let's talk about some other updates too. I saw that the audio video was good. So I have been kind of starting to clean up the duckweed again. I've gotten a pretty good measure of it, but yeah, duckweed's been doing okay. Um, we're gonna try to get that male, which I keep trying to get for you. If you see him, can you see the black male on the male from here? Like that is absolutely stunning. That's the Posilia catamaconus. The first update I'm going to give you is with these. I did clean out some of the duckweed out of here, and I actually found a little fry in here. This is the Cracodon audax from Los Pinos. So I did find a little fry. I didn't see him today. I went looking for him again today. But he was swimming around over here a couple days ago. So don't see him right now, but that doesn't mean he's not in here. He's probably just hanging out somewhere else. So, but you can see the other fry from before starting to definitely get some sexing out and getting some definition for sure. So there's still the four. There's the one, and there's two here. You can see there's a little baby male right there. So he's definitely showing his male coloration, but most of them are female, looks like, which is good. Something I'm pretty happy about. So it's good to have some young fish of these too. Like I don't know how old these fish were when I got them. So anything else really upstairs is really not. Oh, there's one more other thing I want to show you. So okay. All right. All right. Let's take a look. I do want to show you in here. These are the Xiphophorus palmini, and you can see there's quite a few little fry in here. Like, I think I've only seen one adult recently, so I don't know if they've. I had three at one point, and I think they passed, but there's a ton of fry in here. So, kind of hopeful for this group. I was thinking, I was like, I might have to move this to the like one fish tank, right? But quite a few little fry in here. I had this fish before, and it grew up. I had a pretty nice colony at one point, and I kind of sold it off, which was probably a mistake. But yeah, and then since we're here, these are still doing well. These are the Posilia gili, and there's probably still a few Xiphophorus milleri poking around in there too. Someday I want to fish all the fish out of here and kind of see kind of what I got. But these gili really do quite well. So those are ones that I got from Dan. Um, so Ed's, I know Ed had the Los Pinos. Ed, do yours have the red tail? Mine seemed to have been kind of black with a little bit of red on it. So, um, other than up here, there's really not much really to update on at the moment. Things are progressing, like you can see, like down here, these Zenithilda eyes and I, still producing fry. You can see some of the little ones in there, so that's still doing quite well. Um, you can see a bicolor guppy fry right here. You see little baby bicolor guppy. So I'll have to catch the females out of here. See if I can, get some more yield from those. So yeah, not really much else. I mean, these still kind of just live in here. These the Vienna guppies don't really struggle with those for some reason, but we'll come down here. Kind of do an update on the multicolor guppy fry that I pulled, where I pulled the female. I think you might be able to see some of them now. Yeah, you can see some of them on the camera now. So they've started to put on a little bit of size. There's quite a few in here. I think there's seen probably about 10 or so. And the one good news too is I did get another some more fry from the rainbow cichlids. So I have this one up here. He kind of dipped out a little bit, but I did put some more babies in here. And this thing, I'm sorry, there's like a cord in the way and stuff, but I actually put some more down here too. So I have two groups of them now. So I'm going to try to raise those up for the BAP points, and then go from there. I probably need to start transitioning some other fish out of here. So sorry about the jerk with the camera. I'll have to pull the plecos out of here. I don't see any of them out right now, but I'll probably have to pull the plecos out of here. And I think these guys are ready to go to a big tank too. These white guppies. So let me get myself out of here. Kind of an interesting phenomenon happened though. It's unfortunate, but I had the same thing happen with the crypts in this 40 breeder that I did with the same tank with these Scyphia multipunctata. So I don't know if it's the Scyphia that are doing it, but I had another like mass crypt die off here. Um, I've put these have been in here like a couple weeks now, but they've absolutely like had a complete and utter die off. And it was after I added the Scyphia. So I don't know if the Scyphia are doing something to them or what. So I don't know. That's a weird. I don't know if they're like releasing like a pheromone that's killing the crypts off, or I don't know. That's a weird thing. But the Scyphia are fine, just like last time. And then I did start cleaning this tank up again with the Pseudochronalis nicolsi. I have way male heavy though, and then I had a sip get in here too from the tank next door. So this is the Correga Island. So I'll have to fish him back out and put him back in the other tank. So, what else we got? Downstairs wise, there's really not much else. Everything. Oh no, I already told you guys about the Los Pinos. Not the Los Pinos, but the Audax from El Toboso. I've talked about that for a while. Um, I'll probably for the class. I'll probably bring some of these guys. These are the original Robert Rushmiller. What are these? Mika Splendens. Wow, it's been kind of a long day. Yeah, so Mika Splendens here. So yeah, I'll bring some of those. Yeah, these are the trout goodies that that I own that we didn't bring up in the video. So yeah, other than like inside, it's been kind of, you know, business as usual. Since we talked about those earlier, this is the Libyan Islay. Their tank is kind of overgrown with stuff. We'll just call it that. But yeah, that this colony has kind of put on some size. There's quite a few bigger fish in here now. And then we got the big old mama trout goodie in here. I might bring him or her. I don't think it's a female to be. I might bring her to the fish show. I think she. The problem is I lost the location on this fish, and I know it's not the other ones that I have out in the tubs are Lago di Zacapu, but I don't have the location on this fish. But I think I might still bring it to the fish show. And then we've got the rainbow fish in here, the Melanitania Pagua finis. We got that big old male right there. He's awesome. How big he is. And then we got the rainbow cichlids. I might bring the rainbow cichlids to the class too. I might put those in the auction. I think there's probably more of a demand for those in Pennsylvania than there is here. So let me. Guess we'll flip around here. The only other thing I said, I am getting in some more of the co-op. The co-op easy like adapters for the titles. So I'm going to flip all my titles over to the adapter just to make it a little bit easier. Oh, I do have one other thing to show you. Like I said, it's been kind of a fry finding week this week. So if we go in here, if we go to this tank, this is the Cyberchromis leptosoma Empibwe blue neon. And you can see there's one fry there, but there's like 3 or 4 fry in here. So this colony is slowly getting there. And then you got the dominant male there, and then you kind of got his little harem here. So I think he kind of kills off any males, but yeah. And then this has just kind of become now a little bit overgrown with the Java moss too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll head on outside real quick, and actually we'll take some food with us because if we feed the fish outside in the tubs, they tend to come out a little bit, so we can actually see some of them. So I bought these kind of just for the tubs, the floating easy community pellet, and then I'll kind of mix it in here in the fish room sometimes too. So let's head outside and we'll feed the tubs. Hopefully we have light for like all of tubbing season to be able to do this. But so we're gonna do this one-handed. So let's go. We'll go first, and let's throw some in all of them. Now, this one was really good yesterday when I fed them. If you put the food over there, they kind of congregate. Then we'll go feed the other ones real quick, and then we can talk about the rest of it. That one's one you probably can see in still the guppies. And then duckweed, which has got platies in it. And then You guys can see the guppies probably come on camera pretty well. Oh, there was a glare. So we'll go over here because some of them really came out last night when I put them on the tubs. And someone said I had poison ivy over here, and I don't know where they saw it. I mean, I don't know if they're referring to like this, but this is like a picker bush. If you look at it, it's got all the little pickers and stuff on it. Ooh. Do we have a frog? I wonder if we could get a frog in here. What was that? So we'll go. This one's one that's pretty easy to see, and you can see. These are the Xenotoca variata, but you can see them kind of attacking the top. And then the lilies are starting to do a lot better in here. You can see there's like multiple little pads coming out now. So I think it just took it a little while to get going. So, and then over here, we have some more Elaphorus robustus. These are the ones that are from Lago di Zacapu. And then we have the Boesmani rainbow fish in there with them as dithers. Now, last night, these ones really came out, but I don't see them tonight. So maybe they're hiding out in the bottom. Yeah, I can see them down in there, but I don't think you guys can see them on camera. So, yeah, we'll take a look at the ones, I guess, that are out. So, yeah, I think the Vallisneria experiment kind of didn't go so hot, but I figured I'd try it and see. You know, they've all kind of turned reddish brown colored. And see if we get you guys a little closer. I'm really curious on these, like what they'll look like when I pull them out after being in the sunlight too. Because I mean, you can already tell that the sheens are a lot brighter on these than the ones that are like still in the fish room. I'll flip over to these again. These are easy to see too because they're just so big. And they've definitely put on some size since they've been out here. I'm sure they've been kind of going to town on like mosquito larvae and stuff like that. So, like I said, the plants don't look really great out here, like the aquarium type plants, unless I can get duckweed with them. But yeah, there's something over here that's chirping. I don't know if it's a frog. I don't know, because we've had frogs in here before, so don't know what that is. So, anyways, let's go ahead. We'll head back inside and see kind of where things stand with the chat and everything. So. And give me 1 second. I just want to tighten the can of food. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll head upstairs, and then I'll kind of answer, see where we're at time wise, and see what you guys want to talk about. All right, so we saw Beto Great Lakes. So Zen says definitely a frog. Yeah, I think it is too. Let me see. So Ed says, I think that was to my question earlier about the Los Pinos. He's got the pink red, and then he's got the black. So, yeah, those are some itty babies in some of those for sure. Yeah, that Beto, that Godia can get up to like 14 inches long. So, they're various sizes. Most of them are like 100 to 110. The one is a 150 that I got from a buddy of mine. Scott was in the chat earlier, Scott Nowoseski. So he was there earlier. Yeah, so I can't see the chat, but yeah, that was the biggest one was a 150. The other ones are hundreds. I kind of like that size for most of these smaller live bears. 100 is fine. Give them quite a bit. It's more than like the 29 gallon or 20 gallon they're living in now. So, but yeah, so that was a frog. Like the frog hasn't been eating the fish, but yeah, we had frogs last year too. So maybe I'll have to catch one and put it in the swamp. Like, I don't know where it goes during non-tubbing season because they get kicked out, and then because last year I had 3, and I kicked it out, and we tried to catch them, and I tried to put them in a bucket and send them to the swamp, but I only caught they only caught 1 of the 3. The other 2 escaped somewhere. I don't know where, but they did kind of dip out and escape. So it's 8:58, so we'll go ahead and head inside now. Yeah, Beto, I do have the Jesus Maria. They're actually sitting right over here, and they're also in the tubs. So this is that's the Jesus Maria right there. I'll get a little closer for you. And then there's a group of them outside too. So we'll see how those do. But we'll go ahead and head inside real quick and kind of finish up things from there. All right, let's go ahead and head inside. Thankfully, it's still still light out here. All right, so I'm back here in the barn. So or back from the barn. So yeah, let's go ahead here and you know. So if you guys have any last minute questions, go ahead and let me know. So SC Catahoula says it's already night down here. Yeah, it gets at its peak, it gets pretty close to like 9:30, 10 o'clock. But yeah, it's still fairly light out right now. So that's one of the good things about living at the edge of the time zone, and I think a little further north. So yeah, it's still pretty decent here. You know, I mean, it sucks in the winter when it's like 4 o'clock or whatever, but yeah. So I think we'll go ahead here, and I think we'll shut it down for the night. It's 9:02. Yes, Beto has asked me if I've ever had reticulated hill stream loaches. I have not kept those. It's good that you're quarantining them, but I have not really kept anything for those. But I think there's plenty of people out there who have, so I would just kind of poke around on YouTube and see what you can find. So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night. If Bentley's on, go ahead and watch him. I haven't looked. I've been kind of busy today, so. So with that, you know, stay safe, stay fishy, have a great week and rest of your weekend, and I will catch you next Tuesday night.